up, Jason?
What's up? How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. So, Jason, you're in recovery.
Yes, I am.
How long you been in recovery, Jason?
Going on 3 years.
Going on 3 years. 3 years clean.
Yeah.
Okay.
January 26, 2023.
January 26, 2023.
Yep.
So, let's talk about your addiction just a little.
Okay.
Okay. So, when did your addiction start? And
Um,
how did it start?
My addiction started when I was 18. When I was 18, I started doing cocaine just casually, like with friends in college. I started college, and so I had somebody be like, "Here, try this," and I was like, it's college. It's what you're supposed to have some fun. But from there, it just progressed to pills, which I was put on pills for an accident, and so I was doing hydrocodones with the cocaine, and it went from there. For years, I was prescribed those, and then it got cut off from me, and
Okay.
then I switched to heroin.
Okay. Okay. So, before the cocaine, was the cocaine the first drug you tried, or did you start with
Oh, I
beer
started.
or marijuana?
Yeah,
Or,
I had started with beer when I was I tried my first beer at 13,
okay.
and then I was also smoking a little bit of weed.
Okay.
Not much, but just a little bit on the weekend. And wouldn't do anything during the week because I had school. So,
Okay.
but everything progressed.
Okay.
It progressed. Went from there. So I became a weekend warrior on drinking and marijuana.
Okay. Okay. And then it progressed. So, and then when you went to college.
Yeah,
You
that's when I
started.
tried cocaine for the first time.
Okay. Okay. So what was life like for you during those years?
Um, well, those years, I thought it was fun.
Mm-hmm.
At first it did start out as fun. I didn't feel like it was controlling me, but it slowly progressed to where it was I stopped doing cocaine, but then I kept doing pills. And I would still do cocaine,
Mm-hmm.
drink and smoke. Always drank, always smoked weed. Then do my pills, and then stop cocaine for a little while, but dibble and dabble.
Mm-hmm.
And that dibble and dabbling actually turned in eventually to crack use.
Okay. So Jason, before your addiction started, before you got deep into your drug use, what was life like for you, like in your house? What was your relationships like with your parents, and did they have a stance on drug use and?
So when I was little, really little, it started out. My father was a bad alcoholic, and he was very abusive to my mother, physically, mentally, um, and so I saw a lot of arguments, fights. I remember being scared a lot, and until I was 5, my mother stayed with my father, and then she got divorced from him, um, and I stopped really having much of a relationship with him due to his alcohol abuse and his drug use. Nobody wanted to put me in that situation where I'd be surrounded by that. So then I had my stepfather and my mother, and he was a recovering alcoholic. So there wasn't any alcohol use in the house. And during those years, I really felt, I felt more secure, but I always felt out of place wherever I was. I never felt like I fit in anywhere. And I always, during those years, I also said I never would want to be like my father. I vowed I wasn't going to be like him because of the abuse, because of the drug use. And that was my stance on it. And my mother's stance, my stepfather's stance, the family stance. So I delved into school. my thing was school and getting good grades. Was kind of a nerd then, but one that didn't, still never really felt comfortable in my own skin. And so yeah, I stayed with my mom, my stepdad, and just grew up there. And like I said, it didn't start even dibbling and dabbling until I was like 13.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. 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 And when you started dibbling and dabbling, like who was it that you were with when it first started? Were you like by yourself? Were you with your friends?
No, I was with my friends.
Okay.
My friends from middle school.
Okay.
We were like 8th grade, and it just it just seemed normal at the time. And one thing I do remember is once I started, like I loved it. I finally felt like I could be myself. Something was complete. Felt complete.
So at about 18 is when your addiction like took off.
Yes. Yeah.
And at that time, were you living at home with your parents?
No. I always had a place.
Okay.
I always had a
Okay.
place.
So what happened to what was the circumstances where you moved out of your parents' home?
Well, I moved out of there to go to college.
Okay.
So, and I had a apartment, the college living apartment,
Okay.
where you would, rent a room and
Okay.
share it.
Okay. So you were in college,
Mm-hmm.
and simultaneously your addiction just like took off while you were in college.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at that time, what was going on in your personal life?
In the personal life, I was getting more detached from me. And my personal life, well, I surrounded myself with people who did what I was doing. So it made it normal. And who I got with was doing it just as heavy as I was, so at that time, it didn't seem like it was wrong in college.
Okay. And what was your relationship like with your parents at this time? Was your relationship still strong with them at this time?
It was. They could see something was happening, but they didn't put it on the drugs. But I was changing and becoming more detached, less happy. That's what they always described me. They were like, you kept getting a little bit more detached and a little bit angrier and argumentative. And I do remember that. I started, as the time went on, I was more argumentative, and slowly detaching. Because I didn't want them to, the only time I went around them is when I thought I had it under control and could play this role of, oh, I'm happy, I'm still happy. But then that started slipping.
Okay. Okay. And was there ever a time where they confronted you about your behavior?
Yes. At my first arrest when I was 21, I was supposed to be at Christmas dinner. I was supposed to be at Christmas dinner, and I didn't show up because I was locked up in Sampson County.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Flipped a car on 40 and was arrested.
Okay, so I take it at this time you were like fully into your addiction at this time.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was.
So,
yeah.
What was the day like in the life of Jason?
At that time, it consisted of getting up, having a wake up call, and going all day long and all night, and until I couldn't go anymore. Then I had a job that afforded me the right to be high, because they were like, as long as you did your job, nobody cared. I was sent home a couple times for being too high. But out of a few years, that only happened twice. I was like, that's normal.
Okay. So what drugs were you using?
At that time, I was doing cocaine. I was doing pills. I was doing crack. I started doing crack. I was doing ecstasy, and weed, and drinking heavily.
And what was one of the worst experiences you can remember
Well,
being in addiction
later in life or during that time?
during that time?
During that time, it was when I had been up for a few days. I'd been up this is at that Christmas I was supposed to be at. I had been up for 3 days straight. I had actually woke up well, I never went to sleep, sorry. On that third day, I wanted to go into work because I was scheduled to work, but I couldn't function. I'd fallen out of the shower a couple times. Girlfriend at the time called in to work for me that day. And so after she left, me and a buddy of mine decided on December 27th, 2005, that we were going to go to the beach. And so we started that way and wound up flipping my car on 40. And subsequently was arrested. So that was the first bottom I hit.
Okay.
That was the first one.
Okay.
Because I wound up in Sampson County lockup on the same night I was supposed to be at Christmas dinner.